So we found the room.
And before that, we found the bar. But it was like running the gauntlet, man. Oh, man. I'm here.
Like the original
All
Gauntlet, not like Gauntlet
All
Legends, the initial variation
Initial
of Gauntlet. Yes, Marisha Ray needs tequila badly.
Yes. Liquid courage.
It works well. Well, hi, everybody. Apologies for the slight delay, but we are now kicking underway to the 2017 MAGFest Critical Role panel.
Woo!
So I guess we'll do some quick introductions, since I think people here probably know who we are. So we'll make them very quick. Hi, who are you?
Hi, I'm Marisha Ray. Hi.
Woo!
Thank you.
Yeah!
Thank you. First time comer, long time lover. Okay. I play Keyleth, the slightly awkward half-elf druid on Critical Role.
Yay! I am Matthew Mercer, and
Hi, Matt.
Hi, guys. I am the Dungeon Master. Thankfully, thank you. Most of you know the context, and for those that you don't, we're just not going to explain. But yeah, so we were a bunch of nerdy-ass voice actors that play Dungeons & Dragons once a week on Twitch, and the unexpectedly strange and uplifting phenomenon that has been you guys giving a shit is incredible, really. So thank you guys for being the community that made this show anywhere near what it is. So we're excited to be here at MAGFest. It's our favorite event. I've been coming here for years, and it's like my little video game mecca every year that I have to come and try and visit. So I'm glad you guys could be here for that. I will also request, as there will be various people in this room that either haven't watched the show or aren't caught up, to try and keep any sort of questions or discussions as spoiler-free as possible. Please. You know, use as much vague innuendo as you want to, but if it starts getting a little intense, I'll call you on it, or Marisha will call you on it, and then
I probably won't call you on it.
I'll call you on it, and we'll be good. So, anyway.
I'm more likely to give a spoiler than probably anyone else in this room.
I was kind of directing it in this direction.
You
so
probably, yeah. That was probably more for me than anybody else. That's a true story. That's a true story.
Who here, raise your hand if you have not seen Critical Role.
Oh!
You are going to be so confused. I am excited for your journey this evening.
To that, I'll say, you are all great friends. Good on you for being drug here. Good on you.
You're seriously earning some great friend points.
They owe you one tomorrow.
And we're not going to remember tonight tomorrow.
No, it's fine.
It's Friday at MAGFest.
It's fine.
Well, cool. So this will be primarily a Q&A. We'll do a quick kind of overview of how our weird show came about, and then we'll go into questions from you guys. I believe we have microphones set up here in the center of the room, so when we begin to open to questions, we'll go ahead and have you guys go and very calmly and respectfully line up behind the microphones. We want to avoid no closed lining or pile driving, unless you are a Guile cosplayer, in which I'll allow you one pile drive. But that's the only circumstance.
That's true. In that 30 seconds when people are running, you turn into lifeguards for a second.
Yeah.
You're like, no, the concrete's slick.
Yeah.
Concrete is slick, you guys.
Check he has a pulse.
Guys.
He's good. He's alive. We're good.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good. We're good. We're covered. We're covered.
What's your name? Taylor? All right, so if anyone gets crushed, it's Taylor's responsibility.
Fault. Oh, yes. I mean, Taylor's responsibility.
Make sure that you're alive. Thank you, Taylor. Oh, great.
What?
We're set. What happens if Taylor gets hurt? Do we have any other lifeguards in here? All right, we're good. We are apocalypse ready.
This is the importance of clerics, you guys. Yeah.
And if anyone watched last night's episode, you really know the importance of clerics. Oh man. So actually, that's a good call. We should actually apologize in advance for our loopy mentality right now, because we did do our show last night, left at a 7 a.m. flight this morning with a layover.
Yeah. And we tend to not leave the studio till about 11:30, midnight-ish anyway.
Yeah, except to unpack everything.
And then we had to pack up when we got home, and then you have like the adrenaline, so you're like, oh, I can't believe I shot you such a bitch, and then it's hard to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's basically my nights every Thursday night.
Yeah. Like, I know I should go to sleep, but this isn't happening till 3. Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad you suffer with us in the best way. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you East Coasters.
I know.
I know, man. I know.
Look, if we did any earlier, Sam would just be that much more late.
It's true. It's honestly true. We made that time specifically because it is the earliest we can do to accommodate Sam.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mr. DuckTales. Those who don't know, they announced recently the DuckTales
Yeah, he's
cast,
directing DuckTales,
which is
man.
amazing.
Yeah.
But Sam, our bard, is the voice director for that series.
Yeah.
So
It's awesome.
I am forever jealous of him for that.
Hey, man, he's slowly turning into Mr. Disney.
I know.
Yeah.
But they won't take him from us. They can try.
Not like NBC did.
It's so torn, because it's like, we want you to support her show Blind Spot, but if it doesn't come back, we get her back ourselves. So but no, watch the show. It's a great show.
It's a really great show. But
selfishly, they need heels.
look, it's nothing she hasn't,
Said
said herself. Yeah, like she's like, my D&D group though.
That makes me so happy.
I know. That's how you know you're winning. When you're like,
Or I've instilled a poor priority list in all of my friends.
Yeah.
One of the two, really.
Yeah, biggest job of my career and D&D group.
What could possibly go wrong? Smash cut to me under an overpass bridge in 10 years. Slowly rocking instead of a
fine.
cart.
You'll have all of our Critical Role t-shirts to keep you warm.
Exactly. Anyway, so in the nature of opening the discussion with you guys, if you do have a question that's burning in the back of your mind, calmly and carefully, hopefully without the need of a lifeguard, start making your way towards these microphones at the front. We'll make 2 lines here, and we'll alternate between you guys as we go.
I love because you were so adamant about your warning that everyone was like, this
And-
is calm. We're calm. Cool.
That type of control only comes
When
from
you're
being a dungeon
DM,
master.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, this is true, actually.
Oh my goodness.
Well, fantastic. All right.
Wow.
All right. So we will do our best to accommodate as many questions as we can in the time we have allotted for this panel.
Oh man.
Which means we'll try and be as concise as possible with our answers so we can get through as many as possible. I'm sure there will be many topics that we'll ramble on for an extended period of time, but we'll do our best to get through as many as we can. And if we don't get to your question here, bring it up at another panel. Even if it's completely not Critical Role related,
That's true.
it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It'll just confuse the rest of our panelists.
Yeah.
All right, you choose.
Okay, yes, you. Left first.
Okay. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
can?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
You can, if you want to tilt the mic down a little bit. There you go.
There we go. Okay. I love the show. I would start light. So I know you guys are a bunch of theater nerds, which is
Yay.
awesome. Yay, theater nerds. And I love it when everybody gets to sing, like, in the show. Like, I mean, Sam does it the most, but you guys all jump in, and it's great.
Let me tell you, if I ever told myself, like, oh yeah, you'd be singing musical theater on the internet in front of thousands of people, I'd be like, because I hate myself? Because I want to be hunted down? So thank you that we have an opportunity for that. Continue.
So if you could cast any musical with either the cast or the characters, what would it be?
If I could cast a musical?
Yeah.
Like if I could.
Yeah, like if you guys could just put on a musical.
If I could put on a musical?
Yeah.
Oh. It's like the power. You go first.
I mean, we all have our very deep-seated, obsessive love of Hamilton, but
Yeah.
but
It's hard to do Hamilton better.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's already been done.
I would say, well, just knowing our types of humor and our love of Trey Parker or Matt Stone, I'd probably say Book of Mormon.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God, that's such a great show.
I am a Mormon.
And a Mormon just believes.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah. I don't know, if I was to like reinvent a musical, because okay, so you could go one or two ways, right? I guess you could be like, oh, I just want to direct this and make it the best version it could possibly be in its purest state, or you could turn something on its head, like a really terrible musical, like Cats. So maybe I could do. Oh man, now you're giving me ideas. Maybe I could do like 2017 version of Cats, and it's like lol Cats, and it's all like internet memes, you know? What? That's a good idea.
No, I
Ninja cats do, and ninja cats don't. Ninja cats do, ninja cats don't. I don't know.
I feel like the cat that had the pedal put on its head and then saw through
Yeah,
infinity.
That could go into, that's magical Mr. Mistopheles right there.
Okay, points. I'll give you that.
Cats. Such a
Thank you.
bullshit answer, by the way. So,
Kick-ass.
kick ass.
Hi.
Hi.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for just being you guys and just being wonderful and getting me back into D&D, getting me into 5th edition because I'm coming from 3.5, that sort of stuff. So thank you for that.
Awesome.
But, so my question is, I guess it's sort of a merchandise question because do you spice? Just hear me out on this one. Hear me out. It's real brief. Shirt idea is just spice with a question mark. Just
We've had discussions.
please. Cause like spice.
You spice? You spice?
Are you cool?
Yeah, we got plans. Spice.
Yes, we got a sign for it. Or we'll just like put out small packets of cinnamon.
Yeah.
Critical Role brand spice. Or just different spices in each package. You don't know what you're getting.
Oh my God. Can we come out with Critical Role branded spices?
we
Like
do
just
that?
legit spices? I don't know.
Oh, we have a packet of Sood, but we don't tell you how to use it.
I feel like that's a lawsuit waiting to happen, man. Right there.
And totally worth it.
Yeah. Tweet all of your complaints at Geek and Sundry. Not at us. Not at us. Okay, yes.
Hi, I'm Sarah, that gamer girl on Twitter.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. I have a question. It's mostly for Marisha, but Matt, since you run the game, it could be for you too.
Okay.
Female gamers, we all know that it's difficult being us. It's particularly difficult when you're the significant other of a male gamer, and even more so when your significant other is the DM.
Yeah.
I love you, honey. Somehow, other players don't think that you're there for the game. They think that you're there for your boy or trying to pretend that you want it to be there. You know what it is.
Sure. Yeah. All the things. Yeah.
Also, they think that we have advanced knowledge and we get special treatment and all that sort of thing.
Yep. And did you make him sleep on the couch? Yep. How many times have I heard that one?
Yep, all of that. All of that. So my question is,
Anyway, keep going. Yes.
obviously you have dealt this before. How have you dealt with it? And Matt, how have you helped deal with it at the table?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I mean, there's been a few times. I think there was a little bit there for a while that even our fellow game players were like, Marisha, you know something, and I'm like, I really, I would love it if he talked to me, you guys. I would love it if he talked to me, but he just doesn't.
That's true. She'd come into my office at times. I'm working on game stuff, and she'd be like, "Hey, Matt," I'm like, "Don't look!
Yeah.
Don't look at me!"
It's only that, Mom. You're
hiding-
supposed to knock.
Exactly. I'm pushing maps in the corner. Shh. What?
Yeah, he does a lot. He does that a lot. That's all true. That's what's funny about it.
It happens at my house too.
Yeah, but and I've gotten that like people have been like, oh, is Matt being easier on her? And then there are also certain people who have said the opposite of like, they think he's being harder on me in order to really prove that he's not being easier on me. And it's catch-22, but likely I think there's especially a lot of us who are starting to come out of the woodworks these days, and we're like, no, we're on the level, we're cool, we have a pretty good separate DM and player relationship.
Yeah, well,
and we try to respect it, I guess.
And respect is the key, because when you consider that a person is at the table to play the game, they want to play it for the challenges in the same level everyone else does. I mean, yeah, you might seem like, oh, they get special treatment. It's like, you're disrespecting her and her interest in being a gamer and wanting to come at this at the same level and challenge everybody else is. So it's just being able to distinguish that difference and respect as players at the table that that's not the case.
Yeah, cheating's not fun. Because that's what people have always said. Like, do you go into his notes? Do you like sneak into his notes, into his binders? And I'm like, no, that's dumb.
I have that shit alarmed. I know.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No worries. Good question. Hello, sir. You look so dapper.
Yeah, I came from the bar to be here. You met my wife? How are we doing? Drinks good?
Hi, what's your question?
You have our attention.
So
Your wife's still alive, right? No, keep going.
she took a lovely picture with you and sent it to me while I was sitting here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh!
Yeah.
My
So
wife's
much
always
more
cooler
makes
than me.
sense.
Yeah. No, Matt met my wife. Matt.
I was like, did I black out for like a half an hour?
Well, I mean, it is
Become an
MAGFest,
asshole?
let's be fair.
Anyway, you had a question.
No, well, first off, I just wanted to thank you guys very much, or blame you guys, I don't know. I'm currently in 5 games, co-DMing 2, DMing 1. I blame you mostly.
I am sorry, and you're welcome.
You just
Yeah,
read
that
that off
was-
like major league stats, like baseball stats.
Yeah, I
That was
had to compute it
impressive.
because people were like, hey, do you have room for a game, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no. But so, I just wanted to, it is a thank you, honestly. It's been great. And being back into RP is just awesome.
Welcome back. And then let me tell you, how long have you been playing approximately?
Well, see, that's the thing. When I was a kid, Boy Scouts, I stole one of the second ed, I think it was Gods and Something books from one of my other friends.
D&Ds and
just
Demigods.
read
Good
it,
for
and I just
you.
started
It was
reading them
better off
cover
in
to
your
cover.
hands.
But I never got to be in games when I was at that age. There's just nobody around, so.
Dude, but that's the thing, though, is we're going to an age now where not only is the game more accessible to a larger audience, but there's less of that stigma to discuss it, and people are more interested in either getting back into it or finally learning what it actually is and really is. And it's actually a lot of fun. So, like, when I grew up, like you said, you're in 5 games now. That would be insane to me when I was 14.
No, I know. Well, it's insane now, don't worry.
Yeah, it was like spotting UFO. You're like, wait. You know somebody else who plays D&D? Do you want to join a group? No? Okay, that's fine. So
Yeah, I've already gotten the
awesome.
question 3 times this. But no, I had a question.
Yes.
And this is with DMing. When you have a group and they write nice backstories and then you go and say, okay, I can create this around all of this. And then it's like, okay, now whose do I do? And will that piss off everybody else whose backstory doesn't time yet? Like, say if someone is on a vision quest or something for a long time or... I don't know if that's
Damn vision quests.
So whose backstory do you choose? Like what order to go into?
Yeah, like do you have some way that you try to prioritize that, or
I think it depends on their backstories and considering what level of difficulty that might come to fruition in. If someone's backstory deals with like a drug lord that crossed their family and they're trying to get vengeance on him, that could be like a fairly low level encounter that could have some long running kind of background elements you could tie into the future. If someone's like, well, my backstory is, I had one of the evil gods devour my people on a continent that sank into the ocean, you're like, well, probably not getting to that to the later levels. So that does help at least prioritize somewhat as far as like the scale of the group's power. If there isn't that easy to discover priority lists per se, then see if there's any that you can combine. See if there's a plot from one backstory and another that they thought were completely unrelated that suddenly tie into being the same group or the same villain, or that perhaps there was less of perhaps it's fate that they came together for the specific purpose, or just tell a player, hold off a while, be respectful. I can't do everyone's story at once. This is going to turn into The Wire.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be my biggest recommendation. It's a hard balance. It really is. Like I haven't really had the opportunity to get too deep into. Like I've touched a bit on Scanlan's story, and Pike. She just hasn't been around. But like the first player to really get a heavy backstory element after 2.5 years of gaming was Percy. Up to that point, I hadn't really tied anyone's backstory into it so heavily. So don't feel like it's something you have to front load either. You can
And I think
pepper
like
through.
the twins kind of went first because their dad happened to be like the president of Singorn, and which is like kind of like our town. We're one of our neighboring towns, so we kind of ended up dealing with some of their stuff at the home game. And I remember the first time when they were like, "Hello, father," and we were all like, "What?" Because they didn't like tell us that.
was like a
We were
Maury
"Oh,
episode."
shit!"
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that was like the first time we'd really gotten to anyone's backstory stuff. So we were like, plot twist. Anyway,
Yeah, it
continue.
was fun.
Well, that was the main part of the question. I just thank you. And,
No worries.
Thank you guys so much for what you do. It's great, and I look forward to it every week.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And good on you for taking up the mantle of helping Dungeon Master other games. It's and I can't emphasize it enough. As for so many years, I've known people who are afraid to pick up the mantle of the Dungeon Master. It is daunting, it seems, but it's a thrill in its own right to create a story, to create a space for your friends to play in, and that's your gift to them, and let them kind of live and breathe and write stories within that space that you created. Is there's no feeling quite like it.
Yeah, and on the other note, there's always the thing of, I have all this stuff created, I can't tell you this yet, we're not there yet, and I don't, okay.
I know, but once you wait for the right moment to release it, and you go, here, and they all go, what? You're like, yeah. I don't know which mic to drop. There's like 6 on the table. But yeah, you know what I mean.
So many.
Good question.
Yeah, I remember when you went to go get drinks with Eric, who's he's my writer for Signal Boost, and you were like, "Hey man, I'd really love to go get drinks," and he was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure, man. I've never really hung out one-on-one. I'm not sure what he wants to talk to me about," and then his story, his side, is that you sat him down and you were like, "Dude, okay, here's what I'm planning for their campaign, and I have to tell someone." And you like dumped the entire campaign on him.
Yeah, I think him, Matt Colville, and Chris Perkins are the only people that know what the next arc in your campaign
Because you
are.
can't, once again, can't top.
I can't tell
talk to
anybody,
any-
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm about to like, have to tell somebody! Or it's just going to melt down.
Yeah, Eric came back with like gray hair. He had like seen the future. It's like, yeah.
Snowblind, to the age of
Cataracts,
40
yeah.
years. He had no legs. It was weird.
Yes, you say.
I have a question.
Hi, my name is Sho.
Hey.
Show.
Yeah, I started playing Dungeons & Dragons 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago in
Awesome.
the summer. Yeah, I started off as a DM for my group of friends. I started off with 8 people, actually.
Both feet
You
first.
started as a DM?
I started as a DM, yeah.
Talk about training with weights on, dude.
Yeah.
Damn.
It lasted 2 days.
Very fast workout.
Yeah. But currently, right now, I'm playing with a very good group of people. We're playing through Tyranny of Dragons right now.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm working on a campaign on the side that I'm also keeping locked down in secret, you know. But my real question is just general for the both of you guys. Is just whether DMing or just as a player, what is your favorite monster, you know, out of all, whether to fight or just use?
You go first.
Oh, I love displacer beasts just because they're displacer kitties. They're so cute. They think they're, oh, you're so scary, aren't you? You think you're scary. That's how you beat displacer beasts. Is you're just like, you're scary.
Oh, you're going to
Sorry.
hate them when you're back to your new campaign in level 3.
Yeah, totally. No, they were really hard at like level 3.
Yeah.
Also, like, I mean, beholders are kind of like iconically amazing and hard to fight, and each one kind of is a little tactically different. I love them.
Yeah, they're hyper paranoid. They're just strange and dangerous. Those are fun. Beholders are a good choice.
What about you?
Look, I have yet to been able to use it in a campaign, and when I opened the monster manual, the 2nd edition monster manual in my freshman year of high school, and I saw the Godzilla-like artwork, I fell in love immediately with the Tarrasque.
Yes, oh my god, yeah.
I like the idea of an entity that is such a powerful force of nature and on such a mythological level that it just, slumbers beneath the surface of the world and emerges once every generation or so to just rise up and eat for weeks, anything in its path, until eventually it's either defeated or is quelled its hunger and then just slumbers back into the core of the earth again, supposedly in an infinite loop for all of time. That's fun. Also, like hyper magic resistant, vorpal bite, trample attacks. It's fun.
So
Love
fun.
the Terras.
Super fun.
Hope they never run into one.
Fun.
Good question.
All right, yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks, buddy. You, sir.
Hi, my name is Heath.
Hey, Zeke.
Heath.
Oh, was it?
Heath, like the candy bar.
Oh, Heath. I misunderstood that.
Everyone does.
Hey. I was a fan of Heath bars. I'm sorry.
Anthony Birch last year, he got it the first try.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Well,
Anthony.
damn it, Anthony. Smart guy.
So my question goes to both of you. What moment in D&D gave you the greatest impact outside the game?
No pressure or anything. It's like, should we know this ahead of time? I feel like we should.
If it makes you feel better, this was a secondary question. My initial question would have gone to the excromancer, Scanlan.
Excromancer.
But he's not here.
Oh,
Fair enough.
I'm sorry.
No,
And I couldn't even attempt to answer a question like Sam can, so I'm not even going to try.
I mean, if I would say two moments for me, and one's going to be legitimate, one's going to be a little cheesy. The legitimate one is the moment that I decided to become a dungeon master as a performer, because it was a lot of pressure, but it also allowed me a space where I could create and understand so many different varying character personalities from my imagination and give them life, give them a voice, give them a personality, and play in that space. That it helped me hone a lot of the skills that I still use today as a professional performer. So deciding to be a dungeon master in a space where the only experience I had was one dude who was a really bad dungeon master, and I kind of became one out of spite as a reaction to his campaign. Really nice guy, but just not that great of a storyteller. So that was important to me, and honestly, like, it sounds cheesy, but the moment that we decided to do the live stream, because it went against a lot of our instincts for such a personal game, and we were like, I don't know, man. We all had our brushes with the internet, and the internet, being a mob of flaming torches and pitchforks, and so we were like, okay, do we want to set us up for this type of heartbreak? So I think our decision to take it to the stream and hope for the best led to 2 years of this. So, yeah.
So I kind of have one of my new revelations with Keyleth is I genuinely feel, I've said this a couple times, but I genuinely feel like ever since I've embodied Keyleth, and especially more so since the stream started, because we played more on a weekly basis, I genuinely feel like she's made me a more empathetic and compassionate person. Because me personally, I'm kind of more closed off and a little bit more, I'm more introverted, and I have my social anxieties. So Keyleth kind of helped me get that first instinct, because her first instinct is always, I'm going to do whatever I can for the betterment of other people. And that's not necessarily my first instinct. So she taught me a lot, genuinely, kind of about that. And then I remember even the moment that I had with Patrick Rothfuss on stream, which I don't want to once again, no spoilers. Yeah. Patrick, my new best friend. That's our joke. He's my friend now, because it's Patrick Rothfuss. So yeah, and that moment, because that was amazing, because Patrick and I didn't really know each other aside from acquaintances before he came on the stream, and that was really the first time we had really met. And before that episode started, he was by the coffee machine in the lobby and in the kitchen in our area, in our green room, and he was like, Marisha, I don't know if I can do this. And I was like, what do you mean, man? It's fine. And he's like, no, you guys are so funny and you're witty and you guys are so quick and I don't know. And I was like, dude, you're Patrick Rothfuss. Like, what? And I'm like, no. I was like, man, it's gonna be great. I was like, you're gonna get in there and maybe like you'll be fine after a few minutes. And then he told me afterwards, because we brought him in the middle. This kind of turned into a tangent. I'm sorry. We brought him in the middle of the episode, and earlier that episode, I was kind of Keyleth was having problems with her morality and the hero worship, and trying to figure out if what she was doing was actually helping instead of just kind of that surface helping like Windex. And Patrick told me after that, he was like, when I saw you going through that, when I saw Keyleth going through that, I was like, okay, that's where Care is going to have his entry point, and that's where they can relate. So I had like no idea. I mean, of course, it's all improv. I had no idea any of that was going to happen. But that was such like a transformative moment for I think both me and Keyleth. Like he really got Keyleth out of a rut after that, and that was just like I'll never forget that moment. Never.
All right.
Thank you for the question.
Hello. Sorry, I talked for a long time on that one. Sorry.
That's okay. Keep
going.
Hi. I'm going to be really nervous. First, congratulations on your engagement. Wish you guys a life of love and happiness together. I've been married 10 years, and it's awesome. So may you always roll crit 20s. No. You're adorable and just inspiring. My question is for Keyleth.
Okay.
It's very noticeable that you've grown and changed, and I just wanted you to talk a little bit about how your interactions with the other characters. There's a moment that comes to mind with you and Vex that was like sisters, especially now that you're, dating somebody in the party. Mm-hmm. But like, just how has her relationship with other members of the group changed, especially now that she's in that kind of really emotional relationship?
Yeah. That's a great question. I mean, Keyleth has kind of always felt like the odd man out, and she was kind of, and once again, she'll always kind of go with the flow unless she feels like it's like real bad guys. Like, maybe we should really think about this. And I've had a few people like, in the interwebs be like, why does Keyleth always have to disagree with everybody? And I'm like, she doesn't. Actually, it's just she doesn't really speak up a lot of the times. And she kind of, you're literally only remembering the times that she does. And so it's kind of taken her a while to get that courage to be that kind of a person. And she also thinks she's like, it's not that she thinks, she knows, I know, she's the least coolest member of the group. Oh, come on, you guys, that's true. That's true. So like for Vex, she's like, that's like, Keyleth looks at Vex and she's like, oh my God, she's the it girl. She's so cool, man. And she's like kind of the popular girl. So I know the moment you're talking about, and I remember that. And anytime I think Keyleth kind of gets a little bit of that kind of like popular girl attention, and like the internet is also kind of, people picked up on that a little bit too, like it's just the twins, man, they get people going, and so she Vex says, in a weird way, they're the perfect dichotomy of each other, because like Vex still has that like, she's just such a badass, like she is the Han Solo of our group, man. She's just fucking cool, and so as time's gone on, I think she's gotten more comfortable, but maybe one day Keyleth will be cool. Maybe one day.
She's always cool.
Hey, that's her purpose. That's her role. That's her role. It's good. It's good.
She's amazing, and thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. Speaking of couples who game together, my husband and I have been gaming together for about 13 years, and we have 5 games going between the two of us.
Nice.
So,
Congrats.
Heaven help us.
5's the magic number.
But basically, a couple years ago at MAGFest, they had a panel called Beyond D&D, and we learned about a few games there, like that. You know, there's a lot of games out there that are similar to Dungeons and Dragons in the mechanics, but then we learned about a bunch of games that are completely different, and like things like Dungeon World, where it's just moves and 2d6, and Dread, where it's a Jenga tower instead of dice. So I was just wondering if you guys have ever played games like that, either of those two or other ones, and what you think about those style of games.
Yeah. I've played a number of systems growing up. I mean, D&D was my first introduction to RPGs and will always be my dearest because it kind of, for a lot of people, was the introduction and kind of the kick-start moment of the genre as a whole. But I grew up playing the Palladium universe, for better or for worse, through like Rifts, which is broken in its own right. I love Call of Cthulhu tremendously. Dungeon World's a great system, actually. I've only had the opportunity in recent years to try that one out. Exalted was fun because you're basically playing an anime character being ridiculous, and you get more benefits for explaining and having the most ridiculous combos. Like, oh, that's even cooler. Then you get more cool because you're so cool because anime. So Exalted's fun in that regard. A lot of the White Wolf stuff, World of Darkness, is a lot of fun.
We played White Wolf for a very long time, and Exalted was always great. We had that one-shot boss that we killed him in one shot, and the GM just was looking at a sheet, and we were like, did we kill him? And he drew like 3 more health boxes and was like, no.
That's awesome. But yeah, I played a lot of terrible systems. I played a one-shot in a campaign, or a world called Cinnabar, which is one of the worst games ever made, and I played it because of that. Like, it already had that reputation. I was like, I have to at least try this once, and it lived up to its reputation. It made Rifts look like super streamlined and beautiful and like cohesive as far as world building. It was incredible.
Totally incredible.
Mercy.
Yeah, I mean, some of the things that of course, we had our Pathfinder game before we switched over. He was also my first dungeon master. It was before we were dating. So it was like, you actually DM'd for me and my boyfriend at the time?
Yeah.
That's true.
That wasn't
That's
the
true.
intent. That was like a year and a half before we started dating.
That's also true. It wasn't.
I'm a good boy. I was very respectful.
Yeah.
I was crushing on her hardcore, but very respectful.
Is that a Matt Mercer horn? That's amazing. Okay.
Shut up. Continue answering your question.
So anyway, we played Pathfinder. I played a Buffy the Vampire system for a while, which was fun. But together, I mean, we play. If you step outside of RPGs for a little bit in terms of like couple gaming, we play Mansions of Madness all the time.
Yep.
Yeah. Mansions of Madness is great, and they just came out with a new system that's amazing, like a second edition. We also play a lot of Minecraft together because it's kind of like our just come home from like a 14-hour day and just need to like zone out and just like hit blocks for like an hour. So that's kind of what it's like our Zen thing, and you get like the nice Minecraft Zen meditation music, and you're like, this is almost like a spa.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Great, thank you
Pretty
guys.
good. And couples that stay in their pajamas playing Minecraft together, I think it's a very therapeutic experience for the two of you. I highly recommend it. Especially if it's like a rainy day outside, you just get yourself like a cup of coffee and sit there and be like, hey babe, you wanna build a castle out of this mountain?
Like, oh my God, this is the best.
Let's do it.
Yes, I do.
Let's raise some sheep.
Oh man. I'll get the cows, you get the sheep.
We play HOTS so that I can take over towers as Ragnaros.
There you go.
Yeah, We played WoW together too. Yeah. Totally. Good time.
Good question. Hello. Oh, it's Becca.
Becca! Hi!
Becca's
the
like
light is
OG
obscuring
critter.
you a little bit, but I can see you now. Can't really see you now. I can see you now.
There you go. Just so you guys know, like Becca, I think was legitimately the first critter we met at a convention after the show had originally launched. So Becca's been there from the beginning.
It's true, yeah.
2 years ago in March, so that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So my question is actually about your playlists that you guys started doing, because I love them, and I've probably listened to Vex's first one and your Keyleth's first one more than enough times.
Yeah.
Nice.
So my question is, obviously, like, you guys make them with your characters in mind, but I wanted to know how much of your own personal, like your favorite genres and stuff like that, how much that also influenced what went into the playlist and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's a good question. And to preface a little bit about what she's talking about, in case you didn't know, all of us put out character Spotify playlists to kind of help give you a little bit more insight into some of our characters. We did it last year, and then we're right in the middle of our second round because, quite frankly, we just enjoyed doing them so much, and we just kind of wanted to do it again. And for all of us, we're all music lovers. I mean, who's not a music lover? This is MAGFest. Everyone here's got to be a music lover, you know? It's so, yeah. So we wanted to do it again, so you can all find them on Geek and Sundry Spotify. I actually went searching a decent amount for a lot of my stuff. Like, it definitely has a lot of my musical influences. My dad raised me on a lot of bluegrass and classic rock and folk and things like that. I grew up in Kentucky. Yeah, so this part of the woods, you guys. So like, I mean, they're all songs that I love and you know, that definitely speak to my influence of music, but still very much have that Keyleth taste. And we get like really anal retentive about them. Like, we'll be like, no, it's not perfect enough. It's close, but not enough. And like, we've spent months on those, finding the perfect songs.
Right.
I just picked songs that I knew and liked.
It's not true. It's not true.
No, there was a little bit of searching.
You had an even harder time because you were doing the NPC playlists.
Yeah.
And you had like 1 or 2 songs per character, which is
Yeah,
hard.
it was like, how do I encompass an entire NPC's personality in one
One
song?
song,
So I
yeah.
just chose elements of each, and it's hard to do. But a lot of mine were songs that I already knew, or I was a fan of the bands and picked one that fit for those characters, and then a lot of searching as well. But I'll be doing a second list soon. Should be interesting.
Right. Well, Bangarang was my favorite one off of yours, so.
Which one?
Bangarang.
The
Oh, Bangarang? Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah. It's a good one. It's a good one.
Well, thanks.
No, thank you, Becca.
Thanks, Becca.
All right, well, I think we can get all these questions done in the next 7 minutes. There's a panel after this, right?
Are you Gilmore?
I am.
Damn right you are. If I do say so myself, you look glorious.
Absolutely. And actually, Marisha, you answered my original question. So just curious about whether Keyleth's playstyle was something that came naturally to you, or you had to really think about what Keyleth did. And I think that watching her grow through this series has been such a delight. I've been binge watching, so it's been a little rapid fire for me. But I just want to thank you for that. So, Matt.
Yes, hi.
We've seen all these wonderful NPCs come through that maybe you had a plan for, maybe were small and kind of got away from you and ended up a little longer than you thought they would in the series.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if you would share with us a quirk, a tidbit of backstory, a personality trait that you would have liked to work in for an NPC that just kind of never made it into the game.
Oh, that's an interesting point. I mean, and who knows? Some elements might still come in, per se. Who to pick? Because it's interesting. You try and prepare as much as you can as a dungeon master, but the players always inevitably go nowhere you expect, and you end up throwing half your stuff out the window. And that's part of the fun of being a dungeon master. You go, okay, let's see where this goes. I've been really excited that through the Marquette journey, they've got to see a little bit more of Gilmore's backstory. Which is fun. I've seen some more about like the Alora's history and like the initial adventuring party a bit, the original battle with Thordak and stuff like that. And I would say there hasn't been enough time or interaction between in Vasselheim, the Platinum Sanctuary, and Highbearer Vord, and kind of the history of how Kima came under his training. And their relationship, which is of mutual respect, but also tenuous teacher and impetuous student, even for as many years as they've been working together, and as high ranked as Kima is within the order. Yeah, we never had the opportunity to really explore that too much, and I don't know if we will, depending on where the game goes. Maybe it will. We'll see. But yeah, Kima's always been kind of a personal favorite of mine because it's a character archetype I never got a chance to roleplay too often, which was all right, you guys are planning. All right, you're taking too long. I'm kicking the door anyway. You know. And I love that. I love the individual that while wise, you know, and understands and never acts in a way that would endanger people, you know, and is plotting well, but still gets impatient and will push even their plot forward in a way that'll freak everyone else around them, but they won't tell anyone that I got it under control. And then at the end, when everything works okay, they're like, "What are you doing?" You're like, "Oh, it was fine. I had a plan the whole time." They're like, "Why didn't you say anything?" Forgot. And Kima works in that realm a lot, so I don't know. We'll see. Maybe one day. Awesome. Alrighty, so we got a few more minutes. We do have a panel, I believe, after this, right? I think so. Yeah. So we won't be able to stay after. So I'll try and get through a couple more questions as fast as possible. Okay. And if you don't get to your question, like I said, come to another panel.
Yeah.
Go ahead and keep it in mind. And if you don't get to us at MAGFest, so maybe hit it on Twitter or another convention.
Talks Machina.
So.
Hi, I'm Ben.
Hi, Ben.
I'll make this quick. Thank you for your amazing game, but also thank you for creating the community of people that has surrounded here. I've met so many. I met so many amazing people through Twitter. So many of my now closest friends because of you guys, and I can only thank you so much for that. A little bit of backstory to my question. My Critter game online is hitting 1 year next week, and I play an Aarakocra sorcerer. And my question to Matt is, how have you, if you've even thought of it, implemented Aarakocra into your world at all? Do they have any role specifically within either the prime material plane or the elemental plane or anything like that? Or had you not even thought of it whatsoever?
No. Well, the campaign guide, as it comes to fruition later this year, will have information about that. They're not well known within most civilized areas in Taldore, the continent proper. They do exist on the outskirts of society and usually don't interact on this continent too often with the fairer races, I guess you'd say. They are a little more common on other continents, specifically Wildmount. So, yeah, as much as I can tell you.
Yeah, that's as much. Okay, thank you.
Good question.
Hi. Quick question. Like you mentioned how the internet can be just a mob of angry people with pitchforks.
No.
So my question would be like, how do you find the conviction to stay true to what you think your character would do and what you think your character's arc would be, you know, despite everybody being like, oh, they shouldn't do this or they shouldn't be in that situation?
Much to their chagrin, I'm sure. I just don't listen to them. Don't get me wrong. I hear them. I feel it. But their thoughts on how they think Keyleth should act or respond, I mean, I appreciate that in their realm and what they think that's what fits into their headcanon, and that's fine. But I've been with this character for almost 5 years now. So I'm in kind of like what we were talking about earlier, every decision that we were encroached with, I'm like, okay, well, I would do that. No, how would Keyleth act? How would Keyleth act? No, this is what she would do. So I like, there is thought behind all of our actions, and even some of them are impulsive, but even in that moment, we've been with these characters for so long, we know them pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, to add on to that too, realistic characters are complicated and full of contradictions and flaws.
Not perfect.
And so while a lot of media, you can pinpoint a few very similar traits that could explain a certain character, and that may be true most of the time, but there will be exceptions. There will be points of high duress. There will be points of extreme emotional pain. There will be moments of severe fury or wish for vengeance a character will act out of their normal active zone. And those moments, I think, are wonderful and human and places that you can really identify with, as many of us have been in those same places. So on one might like, no, why is that character doing this? That doesn't make sense. It's like, how many times have you done some things that didn't make sense and you may have regretted down the road? So it's, you know, that's part of the process too. And we also understand that passion is passion. And everyone, you know, after every episode, we get that barrage of like, oh my God, why? and our first response is like, because. And then we all kind of calm down the next day. We're like, yeah, it's all right.
Thank you.
No worries. All right.
Okay, we have maybe time for like one or two more.
One or two quick ones. We have to let the next
quick
panel in here
ones?
because we don't want to hold up the rest of the evening. So yes, two more quick questions. For those who didn't get to you, we're so sorry, but come another panel. Please bring it with you next time.
Yes.
Mwah. Yusa.
Hello.
Hello.
James Kloss, wizard on the coast.
Nice.
I had actually a very pragmatic question for you, Matt.
Yes.
How did you price out Laura's bear armor?
Oh, how do you price out Laura's bear armor?
Yeah.
I'd have to go back in my notes. A lot of that is like spur of the moment, trying to figure it out based on like, well, the time of an actual suit of armor, and then like barding for a creature, and then custom barding for what is a non-common creature to have armor constructed for it would be like double or triple the cost, and then you consider the materials involved are, you know, rare materials and the quality of how they were harvested. So like for that,
Who's gonna do it?
yeah, and to find somebody who's actually comfortable doing this and then rolling for them to see if they don't end up ruining the materials, and then like, well, here's half your money back and you don't get anything. You can be that complicated if you want to, or you can say like, it's 5,000. Here's your armor. Depends on how you want to run your game. I kind of run in the middle of, you know, not too overcomplicated and a little bit of just keeping the narrative flowing. But a lot of those moments like that, I didn't know she was going to try and do custom bullet armor for trinkets, so I kind of went, sure, it'll cost this much, and you have to find this person. Make down notes later to write down how much the bullet armor was, and how, you know. So off the top of my head, I have no idea, but I'm sure crit roll stats would be happy to let you know.
So the other thing is, after last night's episode, I thought that maybe you guys could use some chocolate, and so I bought some chocolate.
Some chocolate. Oh.
I don't think we get some
thank
chocolate.
you.
That's awesome. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
And you for the final question of the evening, monsieur.
Indeed. Welcome. Good to have you back, Matt. Marisha,
Okay.
welcome to the man.
Happy to be back.
First off, thank you guys for both the entertainment and the inspiration. Matt, your DMing mastery has inspired me to start working up my own homebrew campaign in the Witcher universe.
Oh, yes!
Can I just say real quick? It sounds like we're all going down on the Titanic for like this last question. So I just want to relish this moment. Proceed, Green Arrow. Proceed.
Indeed. So this is more pre-stream question.
Mm-hmm.
Having gone through the first campaign with people I CrossFit with, which blows people's minds, has there ever been an instance when the crit roll campaign really started that it felt like it was going to come off the rails and just not work?
Like when we started streaming?
Well, no,
before
prior
stream.
to,
Oh, before
like,
streaming.
when I heard it was.
I would.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to do that when. Well, I've been DMing for a long time, and it comes with experience to learn how to bullshit your way to get things back on the rails. It may be by the seat of your pants, but as long as the players are having a good time, it's better to let them guide that at that point. So even if it's completely away from your story, and you're like, all right, I wrote 3 hours of story that we're never gonna see. That's fine. If the players are having a good time, you just kind of let them roll and see where the story finds itself at that point. If you can find a way to connect it back, try to. If not, finish the session. Thanks, guys, that was great. And then spend the next week going, oh shit, how do I bring this back? You know, downtime as a DM between sessions is huge to try and tie those threads back together. But you don't want to feel like you're pushing the players back because they went too far beyond the boundary. Because I think that goes against the nature of what makes D&D so special is the fact that you can essentially push any direction and not find an invisible barrier and run off the corner like a bad Resident Evil character. So yeah, I mean, I don't think there was ever a point where I felt like it wasn't going to work. There were definitely many points where I was like, I have no idea what's going to happen, and the session ends, and I'm like, all right, I got homework. Good game, guys, good game.
Another chocolate-related question. My mom's also from Kentucky, and I took up the tradition of making bourbon balls. Signing tomorrow. Would you like some? Are you guys able to accept them?
We do have a signing tomorrow. I don't think she'll say no to that. You are doing the Lord's work.
Lord Bourbon prevails.
That is fantastic.
Thank you, guys.
Guys, thank you
Okay.
all so much for coming to our Critical Role panel. We're not worthy. No, you guys. Never enough time for all the questions, but like I said, please bring in other panels. We'll be happy to answer them into the confusion of everybody else in the panel room. That's even better. But anyway, have a wonderful night. Drink well, game well, enjoy, and we'll see you guys throughout the weekend. Love you guys.